Hey guys, welcome to the Massive Iron Channel. I'm Steve Shaw. In this video, I want to talk about strength standards for women. And guys, be careful. You have to reach these strength standards too. Before I get into this topic, if you have any questions or comments, drop them down below. The best topic ideas I turn into videos just like this. If you need a quality workout, check out the link down below to my website, superlivingtoday.com. All right, so I didn't script any of this. I'm just going to talk off the cuff and talk based on my years of experience. I've coached many women in powerlifting. I've coached many of them from zero to their first meet, so I have some experience with training women who are aggressive, who want strength. So for a woman that wants strength, I'm going to preface this, and this will sound, excuse me, rather generic, and like I'm trying to, bottle women into two different body types. But really, when I coach, when it comes to the squat and deadlift, there are generally two different types of women. Women that have naturally really thick legs are the ones, when I coach them in powerlifting, they tend to just naturally have a big squat. So I need to establish that. Because I've coached many women like that. Before we get into some of the other numbers, there was a female at Tiger Fitness, Jasmine, that came to me and wanted to compete in powerlifting, and we got her squat up to 225 by 10 in like 4 weeks, or excuse me, 4 months. And that's on video on my personal channel. Excuse me, it's early in the morning. Her deadlift, we got it nearly 315 after 6 months. Obviously, big legs aren't the only thing driving this, big, strong legs. Obviously, her work ethic. So, some of you guys need to take note at what women can accomplish in a short period of time. I've had several women replicate this, and generally they've been women with big legs. So I just want to start by saying, if a woman has really big, powerful legs naturally, she's almost built for the squat and deadlift. Which variation of the deadlift doesn't really matter, but those type of women can hit 225 by 10 on squats. Those type of women can pull easily 315. That's a good strength standard. How about the other side? The women that don't have the naturally big legs. The women that are a little bit on the more conventional side of things, the average female physique. Well, let's look at my daughter. My teen daughter started powerlifting with me at age 13. She spent about 6 months just playing around with body weight and dumbbell work. And after that, we progressed to barbell work after she developed a little bit of neuromuscular adaptation and understanding of the lifts. And in about a year and a half of powerlifting, she was close to pulling 225. Okay, so she was 14 and she was 104 pounds, pulling 225 after a year and a half of consistent training. So I believe she could have easily pulled 275, if not 315, if she would have continued with it. But let's just say 275. So when it comes to the deadlift, 275 to 315 I would say 275 is a really strong place for women to be. And I think most women can hit 225 if they just train hard enough. My wife can come in here on very little training and pull 135. So at least 225 for women on deadlift, probably closer to 275, I would say, is a really good goal. Squat is a lot more difficult because of what I just covered. Women tend to have a wider variety of strengths. You have some women that are just, my wife will call them apples and pears and all this kind of stuff that women talk about. But, a woman with the big natural hips and the big natural legs is going to squat big. And for her, a strength standard is 315. Some of you guys are going to go crazy, but I've coached at least 5 women that have squatted over 275 to 315 in competition in less than a year, and they were all like this. Women that aren't like that, wow, 185 to 225 is a really good goal. I would say 185. I'll never get my wife to 185. She's just not built for the squat. her body type just does not work well for the squat. She's one of the hardest people I've ever had to coach. Now let's move beyond that. Let's talk about bench. There is one female that I've run into that was natural at a powerlifting meet. She was benching about 220 at a body weight of like 150, and she was 40 years old. She was just a freak, just built for it. But the rest of the women, even the strong women that were squatting the big numbers that I coached and deadlifting the big numbers that I coached, they really, really struggled with bench. I mean, to get above 120, 130 was a big deal. So strength standards for women, generally, and this is going to sound pathetic, but if you get to 115, you're doing really, really well. That's, laid side by side with the other women that I've coached. 135 is kind of, I would say, an end goal, a really strong end goal. Wow, what about dumbbell standards? Well, I got to tell you, there's been a couple times where men who have been training, men in their 40s that have been training over 10 years, have come into the gym with me, wanting to train with me. And my wife was training with us as well. And my wife was outworking them and outlifting them. And it sounds silly, but the average woman, if they work hard, is generally going to put up the numbers that are going to be equal to or greater than the average male in the gym with fuck-around-itis. My wife got up to dumbbell bench press 10 sets of 10 reps with 40s. Think about that, okay? And my wife was about $125 at the time. Not built for strength either. So women can, there's no reason the average woman can't get up to 50s, 55s on dumbbell bench press. Let's see, dumbbell overhead press, never really been a lift that I've worked with a lot of women on. My wife can do 25s or 30s. I would say kind of, once you get to the 40s, that's a really good strength standard. That might seem a little bit low, but again, my video yesterday on males generally in the gym don't have a lot of overhead pressing strength. So most women should be able to do 25 to 30 in a reasonably short period of time. And then after that, you get over 40s and maybe even the 45s, you have my respect. What else are we missing? Body weight stuff, that tends to be a little bit of a struggle, especially push-ups. Women tend not to have that pushing strength in general. So if you are a woman that can do dips and pull-ups or push-ups well, that's great. I would continue to train them. My wife can do more pull-ups than me, so I would say the same pull-up standard applies for men. Try to get your pull-ups to 12. And I don't know what else I'm missing. Maybe you guys can tell me, but we covered the big lifts. We covered overhead press. Rows, I think a woman can row a lot more than they think. The average man can row a lot more than they think. So I don't see any reason why a woman can't get to 70s on dumbbell rows. My wife has done 50s, and, she trains very sporadically. She's more of a runner. And so I don't see why a woman couldn't get to 70s. So I'm just kind of pulling this stuff out of my ass based on my experience and what I've seen in the gym. I'd like to hear what you guys have to think. Drop a comment down below. Let me know what you've seen, what some of your personal experiences are. And if you're a woman, what you think about what strength standards are compared to my strength standards and maybe your strength standards compared to what you've done and what you've seen. So guys, hope this video has been of some help. If you have any questions or comments, drop them down below. If you made it this far in this video and have yet to subscribe to my channel, please do. I'd appreciate the support. So guys, as always, thanks for watching. Have a great day. And some of my strength standards are going to trigger some of the men, and that's going to happen. But, if you feel like my strength standards are so high that you're struggling to reach them as a man, it's probably time to look in the mirror and say you need to work harder and eat a little bit more.